Some PDP House of Rep members want the sack of the party's national chairman.
Because if the founding fathers of this party is alive, they will be crying with what is happening today. Please let there be leadership. Let there be, they should show mercy and be able to help us engineer a leadership that have that capacity to reform, restructure, rebuild, and unite everybody, and the party can be able to move to the next level.
On the program today, we will talk to a member at the forefront of the calls to remove Umar Damagum as national chairman of the PDP. You're watching the Hello Chambers on TV's News. I am Tijesu Adeoye. Some members of the People's Democratic Party in the House of Representatives have called on the acting national chairman of the party, Umar Damagum, to resign from office. The lawmaker also threatened to quit the party if the political crisis in Rivers State is not resolved in favor of the PDP. My colleague, Joke Adisa, reports.
The crisis in Rivers State between the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and his predecessor, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, is taking a new turn. Ahead the National Executive Council meeting of the PDP, about 60 members of the party in the House of Representatives are pointing fingers at the acting national chairman, Umar Damagum, for alleged anti-party activities. They are also not at ease at the recent tenure extension accorded outgoing council chairman in Rivers State.
Following the removal of Senator Iyachua Ayu as national chairman of our party and assumption of office by Umar Iliya Damagum, who was elected as deputy national chairman to act in his state, the party has only known misfortune and abdicated its responsibility as the leading opposition party in the country.
There is always a time for governance and also a time for politics. This is the time for governance and not politics. On the streets of Rivers State, the Rivers people are united behind the governor that they elected.
The lawmakers threatened to quit the party over alleged manipulation of the caretaker committee list in Rivers State. The concerned legislators say it is high time the party's top seat was occupied by the North Central Zone, even as the alleged plot by the party's hierarchy to pave way for the planned impeachment of the governor.
Chairmen whose tenure are about to expire in Rivers were elected by the people of Rivers State. They were not elected by the courts. And they were elected on terms, and they were sworn in with a definite term lag, which is 3 years, I'm sure. So please, we are begging the judiciary not to cause chaos in Rivers.
The group wants the party's National Executive Committee to set up a panel that will probe all continuing acts of anti-party activities from the ward to the state levels from 2023 and mete out appropriate sanctions to anyone found culpable.
The House of Representatives PDP caucus has disassociated itself from the position of coalition of opposition lawmakers calling for the sack of the PDP national chairman. Both the House of Representatives minority and the People's Democratic Party PDP caucuses have disowned Ikenga Ogochiere and his coalition of opposition lawmakers, saying such a body is unknown to the parliament. This was contained in a statement issued and co-signed by all minority caucus leaders.
The National Assembly is a busy place. As the bastion of democracy, it is a place where bills are presented, motions debated, laws made, and the yearnings of the people are laid bare. Come with us as we take you through the workings of the National Assembly. We take you through plenary, committee meetings, and probes, all to ensure smooth working of the democratic process.
And joining me in the studio to talk about these issues that has pitched some lawmakers against their party is a member of the House of Representatives from Imo State, Ikenga Ogochiere. It's good to have you on the Hello Chambers.
Thank you.
So tell us, what is the grasp of your group over the crisis in the PDP?
Well, it's so painful that PDP went into opposition they went into opposition. But political analysts predicted that the way the party was being run at that moment, that it was inevitable that one day the party was going to crash, and it indeed crashed. And most of those people that led to that crash have all junketed into different political parties today. But for some of us that have remained and kept faith with the party, we now say we cannot continue this cycle of ineffectiveness, this cycle of double dealing, this cycle of anti-party activities, which is the reason we feel that, okay, we have lost the first 8 years. Now, but this one that just started, we performed badly because 60% was caused by internal sabotage and lack of indiscipline and ineffectiveness and corruption on the part of the leadership of the party that led key players that have been with us after before the election, leaving to form different political parties. You saw Kwankwaso in NMPP, you saw Peter Obi in Labour Party, and they all did fantastically well. Now, when I said we can't continue that, seeing the consequences that of leadership that is ineffective, uniting, and reform-oriented. And then we said the same thing that made us lose in 2015 and the same thing that led to the internal divisions that devastated the party, that led to people decamping, that led to our poor outing in 2023 is going to repeat itself if something is not done. And that was why we came to a conclusion after our meeting, about 60 of us, that first thing first, you have a leadership led by Omar Damagum that lacks the capacity to drive a change in the party, with all due respect to him. But in terms of party administration, everybody, if you are honest to yourself, you will know that Damagum doesn't exist politically in the PDP equation. If you go on the street and even ask people on the main road, do you know who is the PDP national chairman? I don't think 1% of Nigerians can even know that name because he's not effective. Nobody have seen him in any engagement. Even party members does not even know the name of the national chairman of their party. That tells you the level of I don't have to describe him, but you need to get the point I'm trying to make. And again, we now said, okay, because now we have a chance to start rebuilding, this is 10 months since he started acting, that the acting chairmanship, naturally going by the PDP constitution, once there's a vacancy in any level of office or in the party, that the zone upon which the former occupant, emerged from, that zone will file a replacement to act, pending the conduct of election to fill the substantive vacancy. Now, in this situation, North Central was the place where the national chairmanship of the party was zoned. With the exit of Iyachaji, whether he's in court challenging his exit or not, that does not matter. The most important is that there's a vacancy created by virtue of his exit, that the acting chairman is to come from North Central. So what Damagum as the deputy national chairman should have done was to preside over a meeting where the acting national chairman from North Central would have been appointed. But he took over office before, he now wants to administer the party. He has been administering the party for almost going to a year now. And then when I said, oh, wait, had it been that he was even doing something so fantastic, something so marvelous, are you getting me, in terms of rebuilding the party? One can say, okay, let's keep quiet. But yeah, you took it as if to say there's something you have to offer. But then you went to bed. And then our members started attending meeting in APC, making comments that shows that we're not even ready to come out from the pit that we put ourselves inside. So when I said, okay, first thing first is for us to have that change of leadership. Take the acting national chairmanship of the party back to the North Centre where originally it was zoned to. And then let's now pray and hope that the new acting national chairman will have that capacity to start setting new agendas, to start rebuilding, to start reconciling, to start bringing in discipline. First thing in a political party is discipline. It's a must. It doesn't matter what is your view, because the voluntary organization, and it must be run completely on rules. So if you feel that the rules of that political party does not favor you, what do? You go to another political party. That is why the constitution put a clause for freedom of association. You mustn't die in there if it does not go in the way you want. And it must also be in line with your ideas. But now you have a group of people who now think they are so big above the party. These are people who basically politically they are Mr. Nobody, that the party provided opportunities for them in different states. Some of them we don't know who they are. Their fathers were not involved in funding PDP, neither were their mother involved in funding PDP. The effort put in by the G34, the Lese, QMS, the Abubakar Rimi, the Solomon Land, the Gamedes, and so on and so forth. If you look at the characters who are creating this problem, they have no identity. They have no track record. They are nobody. But just because we have formed the culture of money politics in Nigeria, that once people dash you money, you start singing their praises, or maybe people by age, you start calling them leaders without having that moral foundation that makes you a leader. And that is why you now have a PDP where people lack the ball to speak truth to power. And then our group now came and said, no, we can't allow that culture. For some of us of the new generation, we run an election, we campaign, we know the pains of winning an election, and we know how our party abandoned us during that process, that we can't continue that culture, that we must start rebuilding that party. So that is why we need a leadership that have that capacity to bring in discipline, to set an agenda, unite everybody, and then set agenda even for us in the parliament.
So the Kingsley Chinda-led caucus, the minority caucus, has come out to disown your own caucus which you belong to. Isn't that a crack in the house already?
Well, it depends on who wants to call it a crack. Like I always say, I said, Kingsley Chinda is my friend and my brother, and I have respect for him. And I said, I pity him. Why do I mean by I pity him? You know, it's so difficult. One of the key actors in this problem is the FCT minister, who wants to remain in PDP, but is already a member of APC and serving an APC government. And Chinda is his political son. So I can understand how difficult it is. That's why I say it's a matter of political pity, because I can understand how difficult it is for Chinda, you know, being opposition leader or expected to like act as an opposition leader, as a minority leader, and at the same time, you know, have to do or work in line with the agenda of the FCT minister, who cannot hide it and tell everybody that he's working for APC, the election in 2027. So it is a difficult line for Chinda, and that's why I would advise him that he needs to learn more how to draw a line between personal political association and institutional demands of his office as a minority leader. And his reaction doesn't show any division. First of all, he reacted as minority leader. That is wrong. He should not be using our minority platform in pushing personal agenda. Why do I say that? The minority platform is made up of Labour Party, remember. It's made up of NMPP, it's made up of PDP, APOGA, SDP. We spoke the other day as group of PDP lawmakers in the opposition coalition. We did not speak as Labour Party. So I didn't even understand where Chinda got that temerity and information with which he issued that statement. And most of us in the opposition are so angry and bitter that you want to use the institution of the minority platform in the House of Representatives to play personal political interest. That's a divisive action which we will not want, because if he continues on that path, then we may have to react and look into how you're actually running the minority. So we don't want the House of Representatives to be dragged into an internal party affairs of PDP. He should not do that. And like I told him, he also, Nigerians are watching him. Before now, when he was struggling with Ndudi Elumelu over the issue of minority, he was telling everybody that he can do the job better than Ndudi Elumelu. Now, finally, the job has been given to you. You haven't even called a meeting of the minority or more than 1 or 2 times. You're not even set an agenda for the minority. Nobody sees you. Are you getting me? So people are beginning to question, are you sure that he has the capacity to even lead the minority?
And if I may ask, why are you calling for the resignation of the National Party chairman?
It's not just, I don't like to make it a personal issue, is my friend, but I think his action also contributed to the crisis, because people are looking up to governors. He started this as a governor, and then he continued it as a minister of the Republic, serving in an APC. So people are even confused. Is this how party politics is being played? What is this going on? Is it that you be in a PDP member, and then you decide which elective positions you support for PDP, and the other elective position you support for another political party? That I say, since we return to democracy, even before we return to democracy, even in the 60s, that we've never seen any political party leader, whether a governor or minister, come out boldly and say, I will bury my political party on this political position, but I will support them here, and then that political party is clapping. Never was it done in the time of NMPP or thereabout of MPP or thereabout of Azikiwe or MPN of Shehu Shagari. I never saw people do that. I didn't see people do it even in SDP, NRC days. I didn't see people do it in UNCP days. I didn't even see people do it in the days of APP, AD, PDP, and so on and so forth. And now we are seeing this kind of strange thing that have never happened in democracy anywhere in Africa. Just because the institution is so weak to rein those people in, just because the national leadership of the party is compromised. This is not supposed to be an issue for this is supposed to have been dealt with a long time ago. Out of indiscipline. Out of indiscipline, out of anti-party, and not like an anti-party that is remote. No, this one is bold. The person keeps telling you that I will make sure that you do not, as my party, win the election in 2027 for certain position, and that person is still in the party. And somebody that is reasonable is saying that we should be having that conversation. That's why I said it's not just him. There are people who did it in Abia. There are people who did it in Benue. There are people who did it in Lagos. There are people who did it in Kano. It's a network, and this network is also connected. If you check, it's still one person that is coordinating this network of political renegade and men who doesn't have political morality and conscience to be honorable enough to say, okay, I don't want to be here. I go to a particular place where I can show these people my capacity capacity. Because each time you keep dragging inside it means you don't even have the capacity. You don't have the mobilization ability. Because somebody like Kwankwaso went to Kano. You saw what he did in less than 9 months with NNPP. You saw what P2B did more than very well with his Labour Party that swept even our party in the Southeast. You saw what Memeko did with Labour Party when he left. So if you have the capacity, if you have that credibility and honor, you can go to anywhere. Even if you go to a party of chicken, you can win the next day if you have that capacity. But when you stay here and you're struggling, it means that one, you don't have that political strength, you don't have that capacity. Maybe you have penchant for trouble and division and crisis. Anybody can always cause trouble and crisis. But what I'm advising all of them is that what you are doing is teaching small children, you know what I call political irresponsibility and rascality. Because when student of history is trying to study what is going on, they will learn something that is immoral, that you can actually have no honor, stay in your political party, open an explosive and sink the party completely down, and still be crying that you want to be in that political party.
It does appear you make sweeping allegations involving the APC in the affairs of the PDP.
Well, it's not about anything about APC. What brought in APC into this is that they are a political party like us. And all we are crying and say, allow us do our political activities like you're doing your own. But the key thing here is that it's not even APC that is the main problem. It is our members of our party who have taken it upon themselves, even without invitation by the APC, to take up the tax of let me go and bury my own political party in return for some political privileges or monetary privileges and so on and so forth. And they are now the ones that is encouraging them. Look at what happened with the decampment of the 27 House of Assembly members. And even the one that happened with the Labour people who left in Enugu to go into our own party, PDP. These are political abominations. These are unfair. These are not decent. You could, if you say you are strong, like some of them used to say in the past, you step down and then go and run the election again on that new path and let's see whether you're going to win the election. You don't destroy the institutions that helped you. That they want to use the institution of the law to take over a state that was won by the party. Whether they want to grant an injunction to legalize the illegal extension of the tenure of those local government, we say this is not fair, that APC is encouraging this, APC is part of this, that this is not fair for growing democracy, this is not fair for deepening democracy. And that was started shouting. And we also say that we can't drag the judiciary into this. Even the escort orders now flying. Cases filed in the night of Friday. Monday morning, escort order is issued that certain PDP members cannot walk into the hall of PDP NEC meeting. These are petty issues. Imagine ordinary going to attend the NEC meeting. Somebody goes to drag the judiciary and the Federal High Court issues an escort order for such mundane and petty issues. That it shows how less busy our judiciary is. If you want to go to your own meeting, creative meeting, somebody gets an order, say, Chief, you can't enter the meeting, and then court gives an escort order without hearing from the other side. That these kind of things are the things that can lead to collapse of democracy or destruction of democratic and constitutional institutions. And that is why we said it is high time the APC, even though they are benefiting from this thing that is happening, ensure that we don't cross the line that can lead to hurting of our democracy.
So if the party chairman does not resign, what next for your group? What will be the next step? Well,
I don't think Damagum should be very heartless and unfair to do this to PDP. For what? In return for what? Staying is for what? Insisting not going is for what? Damagum, what for? What is it for? Is it that it doesn't make you sleep well at night? Are you proud that this institution is like this? That people don't even know who you are? The people you say you are leading? Because you are not even made interface, you are not even interacted with any of these states. You sit in Abuja, you wake up in the morning, you sleep again. What do you gain by saying you will not go? It's not a personal fight between you and House of Representative Opposition lawmakers. We are trying to help you. You are doing well as a deputy national chairman, but as national chairman, we are begging you. Drop it, let the zone that is supposed to take it. And I will also say this clearly. If you say you will not go, we're not going to let you stay there. It's not your father's property. You are not a Lese Kweme, you are not Abubakar Rimidem, you are not Solomon Ladem, you are not Beniza Popotebe and all these other people, or Lagunsa who fought for it. It's not your property. We are not part of those who fought for it. We will come to retrieve it. We will fight for it. Of course, you should be rest assured that we will fight for it and we have that capacity. We are going to head to court to stop him from parade. It doesn't matter what it takes, but the point that we will retrieve it from him. We will retrieve it and return it to the people that rightfully it belongs to. And that is the right thing. So we are saying that let us not get to a point where we start fighting more and complicating issues. We are pleading, we are begging, we are saying, please, party have suffered. Since 2015, party was not prepared to go into opposition. Since he went into opposition, it was somebody that went into shock. Party has not even recovered because they have not, most of them have not learned how to play opposition politics or stay without government patronage. You can see all the contractor friends of the party have all jumped ship and joined the ruling party. You can see the political leaders, the so-called former, this former, have all jumped. Some of them are ministers, some of them are governors, some of them are senators in APC. So these are people who have little the character ability to stand, political hunger of not being in power. So now a lot of them has gravitated towards where they feel there's light and power. So these people that are left now, that have that, purpose, that have that faith, rebuild them. Don't make them feel like, now, well, let us jump like the other people. So give way so that those who have that capacity, there's a lot of them. People are talking about David Mark. People are talking about Bukola Saraki. People are talking about different types of people. Go look for people. Then we'll find somebody from North Central who has that character, who has that re-engineering ability to call everybody together and be able to put the party. So we don't want to say we're not issuing threat or say this is what we'll do. But of course, if it gets to a point where the future is no longer there, where people have said we have sold it on the altar of APC, sleep until after 2027, then some of us in the party will now say, okay, what next for us? Are we going to join them? Or are we going to find another place where political party is existing, where it can be run as required by the principle of intra-party party democratic principle?
So, Honorable, where lies the solution to your party's crisis on one hand and the PDP on the other hand?
The solution is very simple because this is purely an internal party affair. One is that the constitutional zone, the zone that has a constitutional right to lead the party, which is the North Central, is brought in immediately to act. Second, which is also very important, is that discipline is installed. And this discipline, you don't need to look at anybody's face. If you have said that I cannot win the election, why do I need to reconcile with you? Well, and you're not showing remorse. So what do? You kick the people out. Even if it is two people, and I want PDP to learn from what one person did. They went somewhere that was new and started rebuilding. And they took down Kano with over 20 House of Rep seats. So they went away on their own, 2-3 individuals, and they mobilized their people. You saw what Peter did with Labour Party, over 30-something rep seats in one outing. Even you that have been there for almost 20 years is not struggling. So remove this bad egg that is dragging you. Even if the number that is still in PDP is more than enough to bring a change, as long as you are committed to work. You still have over 120 rep seats and thereabout. So you still have over 10 governors. So it's a question of rejigging them and energizing them. So the way out is that discipline must be restored at all costs. It doesn't matter who is involved. And then a leadership that have the capacity to go about, there are people that need to be reconciled, genuine reconciliation. There are people that have been hurt in different areas. Even in Maida, where I come from, there are people that were hurt, who won primary election, who won a free and fair primary election. People change their names. These issues need to be reconciled. So in different states of the country, there's genuine issues that need to be reconciled. But rascal actions or people who the party did not hurt in any way. You ran a presidential primary. You were defeated in Eagle Square where all of us saw it. Okay, let's all be direct here. Was my friend Wike not defeated in Eagle Square? When Tambuwal decided to seek alliance with Atiku Abubakar, if you're a good politician, everybody saw the negotiation on the floor of Eagle Square that morning, early morning. Then what he would have done was to run to him, maybe offer him VP so that he will step for you and both of you will work together, or he runs it till the end so he can have the number to win. He won in the field. So if they promise to make you a VP or whatever position, which I know was even against what some of them were saying that, oh, they can never be a VP because they were fighting for Saddam presidency, which was all lies. But at the end of the day, you didn't get that VP. And your actions now is making them feel that maybe they were right in not even trusting you for such a sensitive position. Now, what did you do? You went on war. PDP did not hurt him. PDP did not do him anything. It was a free and fair contest. And from his trajectory from local government to governor to PDP have helped you. So, but what have you given to the PDP? Crisis upon crisis, litigations upon litigations. What have you done for the party? Even those who brought the same crisis they claim to have solved, they were the one who brought Alimo the Sheriff, if you remember. And they were the one who went after him. So did you save the party? You didn't save the party. You created the problem because you wanted to put a particular person you feel will favor you. And then he went to rogue, and then you went after him, and then you say you saved us. So you create a problem, you create a tsunami, you put the bridge, and then you save the people. Who brought Uche Secondus here? It was still them. They were the one who went to court again to get an injunction from one small court, remote court somewhere in Rivers to stop him from parading as a chairman. Who brought Iyachuayi? The same group of people. You brought them and then you put them. Who went after him? You see, this whole thing has to stop. He's my friend, and he has to stop, because I'm also in this party. I'm a stakeholder. I have fought for this party. Remember, for the last 20 years, I went to prison for the party. I've suffered for the party. So I have a bigger right than them. And I'm saying this whole political abracadabra has to stop. And that is why the group of 60 lawmakers who share this same view, who are passionate about rescuing this party, have said enough of all this naked dance of shame. This party must be run like an institution. And if this party say they don't want to be run like an institution, they want to be run like the way Alimodu Sheriff runs ANPP and APP of those days when they used to sabotage Buhari and so on and so forth, then we'll have to come back and say, okay, what are the decent options available to us? It's not a threat, it's fact, it's something that is backed up by our values. We can't be part of being in a political party when another political party takes decision for us. At this level, we cannot be part of it.
So the Chinda group insists your group, Coalition of Opposition Reps, is not known to the parliament. How do you choose to respond to this?
When he say is unknown to parliament, first of all, I am known to the parliament. The answer is yes. Is 60 of us known to the parliament? The answer is yes. So how do you not say we are known to the parliament? We are inside the parliament. We are elected members of the parliament. So we are known to the parliament. But if he's talking about institutional organogram and so on and so forth, nobody said we belong to the minority caucus as an official platform. That the people that spoke, that's why I said I need to explain this to him, because next time I will not explain it. I will go bazooka next time. What I'm saying here is that the people that spoke are opposition coalition members of PDP. This is like a political like-minds, hinged on the principle of freedom of association. Members of that party, elected on the platform of that party, members of National Assembly on the platform of that party, speaking about the interests and future of the platform that elected them. He does not have the exclusivity of the word PDP. He cannot even have. He has not even shown leadership as an opposition leader for the PDP since we were elected. So I don't want to be provoked on this matter. That the main question here, the clear it is that that statement issued, they should withdraw it, because minority have no business with this issue. Minority caucus have no business with this issue. These issues are internal affairs of PDP, and we spoke as members of PDP, majority members of PDP, who feel worried about the way our political party is going, not about the way he's going. We didn't even want to come to his issue. We are focusing on the issue that has to do with our political party. So why are you trying to provoke us? Why bring in Labour Party into it? Why bring in NMPP into it? And NMPP and Labour Party, are they members of People's Democratic Party? They are not. So we spoke as People's Democratic Party. So this is something that is only about People's Democratic Party. And then you drag in NMPP and Labour Party and drag in Minority Caucus. We are members of Minority Caucus. There was never a meeting where we agreed to react to such issues, because over 60 of us are all part of the Minority Caucus. So there was never a time he was mandated to speak on that issue. There was never a meeting called on that issue, because we are also part of that Minority Caucus. But we did not act or speak as Minority Caucus. We spoke as opposition coalition members of PDP, a group of like minds that have the 120% right to gather, to meet, to decide, to negotiate, to push. And that is what we did. So I don't want us to be provoked, because at times when people try to make misrepresentation, it angers me, and I'm not somebody who is very good in choosing the right words for such people. I will say it the way it is. So I want them to withdraw that comment, because they are trying to mislead the public. We never acted for Minority Caucus. We acted for ourselves, 60 of us, on behalf of those who are aggrieved in the People's Democratic Party.
And that is all on our program this week. Do not forget you can watch this episode again on TVC News YouTube channel. There will also be a repeat broadcast of this episode at 7 a.m. on Sunday. Thank you for watching. I am Tijesu Adeoye. See you next time.